What's up, guys? Happy Handsome Tuesday. Tuesday. Our favorite day. I don't know if it's our favorite day, but it's a good day. We got a couple stories. If you guys checked out the thumbnail, we got JB on there. We got Helena. We got Craig Jones. We got Gordon Ryan. We got everybody. The usual suspects. And you know what? We need to look for Ben Askren updates too. So we'll try and keep you guys updated on that. Yeah, so we're just gonna get right into the stories. That's the best way to do it. Again, happy Handsome Tuesday. We got a new post by USA Grappling. I still need to sign up. They got me cooked, bro. I gotta pay like a lot of money for my background check because I gotta do an international one. But let's see what they got to say. I think it's got music on it though.
USA Grappling is partnering with
USA Grappling is partnering with AGF to host the World Team Trials. These will be 8-person brackets with men's, women's, and kids divisions. All winners will earn a trip to compete in UWW World Championships in Serbia for adults and Greece for kids. To petition and visit USA Grappling. I want to do that for more information. I might need to do the gi. I don't know what the rules are. Can I pull guard? You gotta fight all the dudes from Brazil. So that might be interested in looking into that. I believe that's coming up soon. So, yeah. So AGF. So might need to look into that, man. If you guys want to go out there with me, I might see if I can get on there. We'll see if we can make that happen. This is a cool post. I definitely can't play the music on this one, but it's kind of comparing. Let me restart it. It's kind of comparing the old UFC promos to the new ones. Can't play the music, but you know this Jose Dos Anjos versus Connor back in the day. But you see, like they put time into the production. It's probably the biggest fight in UFC I can think of. But yeah, they were like, had the green screen going, a little bit of acting, the showdown, the face-off. And then nowadays, UFC ain't putting no money into their marketing, so they got Dana White yelling at the camera. They got social media stuff going on. Yeah, this is what they got nowadays, this kind of stuff. Ain't nothing real, man. Yeah, Jose Aldo back 2016 or something. What year is that? Yeah, that was a huge fight. I think everybody was watching that one. Now, I don't know any fights that people are like really amped for anymore, unless you're a big diehard UFC fan. That was just the marketing's completely different. Well, I mean, that was a big fight, so they were going to put in the effort into that one. I don't know. I'm just not that big of a UFC fan anymore. It says now it's a 40-minute countdown with training footage, doing their daily routine, the same old, I'm ready to defend my belt. I've been waiting for this. This is what I was born for. Then cuts to a compilation of knockouts and highlights we've seen 10,000 times. Someone else says new fans just don't remember the 2015 to 2019 golden era. I don't even think that's the golden era. I think the early 2000s. I mean, you got the original, the OG, the 1993 crowd. That was magical. Those first couple UFCs. And I think the 2000s had some really good UFCs because they were kind of few and far between. So every couple months you would be ready for the UFC. And everybody would be ready to watch it because you had time to, this so-and-so's on the card. You had time to kind of like get amped up for it, You had time. If there was only like 6 UFC events in a year, you had time to really get into it. The card would be stacked. The fighters were crazier back then, so they didn't care. They had all the CTE. The Chris Liebens, the Chuck Liddells, the Rampages, the Tito Ortiz's, the Randy Couture's, the Diego Sanchez's, Forrest Griffin. You had all these crazy dudes just out there. Now it's kind of more professional. It's either really professional, they're doing kind of the cookie cutter training, or it's, they're all charisma talking, trying to make a name for themselves. So yeah, there's different eras. I'm not sure what era we're in now. I don't really watch UFC, to be honest. They got so focused on the professional sport aspect over the entertainment aspect, got ESPN-ified. Lack of showmanship, now that's been replaced with a desire to be sophisticated athletes over a good old-fashioned brawling showman. Conor was the last of his kind. I mean, the fighters are smarter. They're making. I hope they're making more money. They might not be making more money though. It says good times don't last. The last shot. No wonder every year is a new financial record for them. Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, you guys follow the UFC closer than me. But 2016, 2015, whenever they were fighting, everybody was following the UFC. Now it's just like diehard people or people that just want to see some carnage. I don't even know who's fighting really. You got a few superstars. Sean O'Malley, Patty, Merab, Islam. You got a few superstars, but I don't know. It's just once these old guys start retiring, like Jose Aldo and some of these dudes, I don't know. Well, maybe the new generation will keep up with the fighters. Even Conor was different back then. It says now all we have is Nina drama about to ask the fighters what their favorite color of toilet paper is. Yeah, that's the UFC right now. It's just whatever it is. It says old UFC promos used to have so much soul. It says Max and Dustin are fighting at 318, and there's zero promotion. Ilya and Charles at 317. Guess what? Zero promotion. This sport is a joke. Well, UFC is a business, so if they feel like they don't have to market it they don't need to market it to sell the fight, they're not gonna market it. They're gonna save that money. Papa Dana, Daddy Dana's got to go. He's got to go to the casino. Dana be spending more money at the casino than all the fighters make in the whole year. And that's okay. Someone said, man, Conor in his prime was special. Yeah, I mean, he was focused. wasn't on that stuff. The drugs didn't kick in. He's focused, man. He actually cared about fighting. No joke. This is the promo that got me into the UFC. Dana all addicted to social media analytics now. Yeah. Well, those are metrics that they can get real time, so they're going to follow the metrics. Versus before, I guess the marketing, you really didn't know until after the fact, when the pay-per-view views came through. UFC doesn't do boxing style promos anymore, especially since the cards have so many stars. No, they don't. I don't even know anybody on those cards. I guess I'm not in tapped in. From undercard to main card can be filled with household names these days. Are you sure? When they put out the UFC bracket and stuff, the pictures of all the fighters. I don't know most of the fighters, but that could be me. I don't know enough. I don't care enough. UFC, well, the UFC doesn't want stars anymore. Maybe 1 or 2 stars, but it doesn't help them to have a ton of stars, because when people become stars, they start thinking they get a say in how the UFC runs. Think about Ngannou. Think about any of those stars, they thought they could change UFC, that they had the star power. So I don't think the UFC cares about having stars. They just want some decent fighters, you know, that are gonna follow the company. Even though all these people are contractors, they ain't employees unless they're doing the announcing or commentary. They're not employees, guys. If you're a UFC fighter, you're a private contractor. You're not an employee technically. So they don't want to invest in private contractors. Daddy Dana's got to go to the casino. It says the last two promos UFC dropped have been low grade. I mean, they don't care. You guys still gonna watch the UFC? The only immediate rematch that never happened. That's because that was Conor McGregor. Yeah, because this would have been sick for Bilal and JDM. Promo versus announcement. UFC keeps doing these videos, but they're not that epic as they used to be. Because they don't care. Remember Ariel Helwani's beef with Dana White started because he ruined his big bad fight announcement. MMA YouTube doing more to promote the fights than UFC. And that's crazy because you can't even put no UFC content on your videos. And them YouTubers be doing more work. MMA YouTubers be doing more work than Dana White to promote these fights. They be educating you on the fighters, their history, everything. It says Prime Connor was special. We need the Saudis to do a promos. It's Connor Money Machine. So if you didn't watch, we were just kind of looking at this old promo from back in the day. I can't play the music, but they actually put time and effort into this, and they hyped it up. You were ready, bro. You felt like you were part of the mob over there. Not the bad mob, the crowd mob. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I might watch a John Jones fight or Israel Adesanya fight, but I mean, I usually don't watch UFC, to be honest. They got some cool people like Mayrab's out there. He be doing this stuff too. He be out there marketing. Oh, that's actually Sean O'Malley. These Sean O'Malley too. He be out there marketing, but they do that themselves. I don't think UFC helps them, but they go out there and use their own name recognition. So we got Kennedy training with Mikey. Kennedy says 12 rounds of 5 minutes with my brother. Yeah, so pretty cool to see Mikey out there. I guess he's getting ready for his UFC BJJ match. Mikey, I'm not sure what Mikey's doing over here. He's kind of doing some like the Gordon Ryan kind of foot sweep there. What was that? What was that, Mikey? Oh, almost like a false reap kind of move. So shout out to these guys training together. Mikey be changing teams, guys. Mikey be changing teams all the time. Can we figure out what teams Mikey was on? We got the AI. AI is going to answer it for us. Spirit of Jiu-Jitsu says, did you see the instructor has to pay $65 million to that injured student? Yeah, we covered that. we covered that story. We read the story. So that happened in 2017. I believe all this stuff happened already. It got picked back up by all the news media, and I think the dude is walking again. He's walking. He's climbing mountains. He's got full mobility now, I believe. So he got lucky. Not that I'm not saying getting injured was lucky. That was bad, but he got lucky that he was able to walk again, and he's got his mobility. He got a couple $1 million. Them lawyers got all that money. Yeah. So we read the statement from Sinistro, the instructor that was a part of that case. Yeah, but I covered that. I read the whole thing. Again, it happened in 2017, and I think the lawsuit probably just went through. Don't do that back take on me, bro. The guy had wrestling experience, and he moved. I mean, Sinistro did a crazy back take, but the guy also moved really weirdly, considering he had a lot of wrestling and jiu-jitsu experience, even though he was a white belt. He was one of those wrestling white belts that were tougher than they're supposed to be. So it was a freak accident. So just whenever you're training, man, just be safe. Be safe. Whenever I go compete, I say a little prayer. Or if I'm training with some crazy people, I say a little prayer. There have been some other incidences like this, not with Sinistro, but other gyms, and I guess they didn't sue, or they worked some deals, backdoor deals, some deals like that, so it wouldn't become big news. So now we're talking about Mikey. We're gonna look at we got the AI over here. So I said I was looking to see what teams Mikey's been a part of. So let's go to BJJ Heroes. I don't trust this AI. I don't trust this AI. Let's read Mikey's his BJJ Heroes. How many matches has he done? He don't have that many matches on here. I mean, he's got, obviously he's been beating a lot of people. 64. Actually, yeah, about 69 matches on here. They're not perfect. So let's read his biography. Michael Musumeci, however you want to say it, was born on the 7th of July, 1996. He's young. He's not even 30 yet. 2 more years. 1 more year. Yo, Mikey getting old. Mikey, come to Masters, Mikey. Actually, you can do Masters now. Nobody's accurate. You go to Flow Grappling, it ain't accurate. You go to BJ Heroes, might be missing some tournaments. It's the best we got, though, bro. We ain't got nothing better. So he was born in Marlboro, New Jersey. That's where I am, in Jersey, dirty Jersey. Michael started learning jiu-jitsu at the age of 4 with Coach Fernando Cabeza at Fatillo's Martial Arts Academy. He remained under Cabeza's guidance until his 10th birthday, when Musumeci and his family moved to Florida. In Florida, Michael continued his journey at Marcelo Ribeiro's gym. This relationship didn't last long, as Ribeiro moved to Texas shortly after. The Musumecis then joined Coach Emir Shark Busade of American Top Team, where he received his green and blue belts. Carol, what's up, Carol? Eat some high chews for me, Carol. Eat some high chews for me, Carol. I haven't had any high chews since I've been up in Jersey. So we're talking about Mikey. He got his green and blue belts from this guy in Florida. During Michael's stay at Emir Busade's academy, the Mendez brothers came by for seminars, thus starting a long-lasting relationship with Michael and the formidable brothers. Musumeci stayed in touch with Hoffa and Guy, attending seminars, taking private lessons, and visiting their gym. As time went by, Michael's family moved further south. At this point, Michael joined WMB Miami, where Mikey was awarded his purple belt after his second world title as a juvenile blue belt. After Michael's family, his family moves a lot. They moved from New Jersey to Florida, and then they moved all over Florida. Family moved back to Boca Raton. He regained contact with coach at ATT and Jonatas Gurgel, and then he started teaching at Jocko Training Center, not Jocko that we know, Jacko Training Center, together with his sister Tammy, where they met Gilbert Burns, who became a training partner and mentor. He was awarded his brown belt by Guy Mendez whilst on the podium after his 2014 purple belt world title. After his brown belt world title, Mikey, they be say Michael, then Mikey. Mikey was also added regular trips to AJ Souza's gym. The following year, after yet another impressive win at 2015 Worlds, Musumeci was awarded his black belt in a combined effort between Jonatas Gurgel and Gilbert Burns. He was 18 years old at the time. He went on to work under the guidance of Caio Terra as well as Heath Pedigo. So I don't like how they framed that. They framed it like Mikey, he's being mentored by all these guys. For me, I saw it more as Mikey jumping teams. He went from ATT. He went to Mendez Bros. He went to Pedigo. He went to Caio Terra. Now he's at Cobrinhas. So he's kind of been all over the place, man. He be jumping teams so fast, bro. Wasn't he at Pedigo for a second? And then he went to Cobrinhas. So I'm checking up on Reddit to see what they're about to say. Says he's like LeBron. Yeah, he go wherever he can get that world championship or the most clout. Now he's with Cobrinha. The thing is, I feel like you don't want to cross Cobrinha. I feel like you shouldn't cross Cobrinha. He might send some Brazilians after you, Mikey. They know where you live in Las Vegas, bro. They're going to send some Brazilians after you, bro. Says, in my opinion, this is Jason Scully, Mikey is pretty much a self-directed practitioner and goes from team to team so he has different bodies to train with. Maybe these teams won't let him train regularly with them unless he reps them, who knows. But I personally just consider Mikey an independent regardless of what team he reps. The guy seems to be learning and choosing his BJJ path based on his own terms for most of his BJJ training. I think Mikey's Ronin style would be a red flag for most other competitors, but he's too likable and nice to everyone, and all these teams are happy to accept him. He's like the golden retriever of jiu-jitsu. Pretty much. Also, to be able to have access to him during the time he's on their team is a plus for the teams too. Say I had a team and Mikey's like, hey man, I want to come over. I'd be like, man, stay over there, man. If you want to come train a little bit, okay, but we don't join. You can't join our team or nothing, man. Maybe I'm a little bit more old school, but I just don't like how he jumps around representing different teams. Because he makes a big show of it. Maybe if he didn't make a big show of it, if he just wanted to train with Pedigo or he just wanted to train with New Wave, I mean, he's so famous he can do all of that. But on the flip side, I mean, does he have good relationships with all these people? Is he cool? Is he still cool with Caio? Is he still cool with the Mendez Bros? I feel like he can't really go back there. It's kind of like, I feel like I don't know if he burns those bridges, but it doesn't seem like those relationships are very strong afterwards, because look how close Caio and Mikey used to be. Caio used to always be in Mikey's corner. And now, I don't think the coaches see, maybe it's worth it to let people train with Mikey, but it doesn't seem like it's worth it from their standpoint to have Mikey around once he ditches you, basically. Says not surprised not surprised Mikey is repping another team again. But if he is actually training at Cobrinha's, it will be great for Kennedy's ADCC prep. So this is a little bit older. Can confirm he's actually been training there with Kennedy. Source, I'm just a guy on the internet. Says pretty win-win situation. Cobrinha is one of the few people in the world that know enough to coach Mikey and Gi and Nogi. And Kennedy's getting an S-tier training partner for Worlds and ADCC. Also, plenty of clout and attention for Cobrinha. Big question is how much are they actually going to train together? I think Mikey spends a lot of time. Well, now he's in Vegas. Still pretty far away. I think he's got to drive 4 or 5 hours to get to Los Angeles. Something interesting to note is how Mikey talked about how much attention he got from Cobrinha. I wonder if this is a passive-aggressive shot at any of his previous academies like Terra or Mendez. He got his brown belt from Gi. So maybe Mikey wanted more attention from those guys. But Mikey, he doesn't train there full time. And I get it, he wants more attention. I don't know. All I know is Mikey was paying Cobrinha and those guys. Whenever he would win one championship, he would pay them some money out of his purse. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would you want to, if you were a coach and you had someone like Mikey coming through a little bit? I mean, of course you could give him some private attention. I mean, not private, not in a weird way. Give him some, more attention. But they got other athletes they're trying to develop. Would the Mendez brothers give Mikey more attention than Tynan or Cole or one of the athletes that are going to represent them and always going to be there with them? Versus Mikey going to change teams in about 6 more months. Give him about 6 more months. He's going to jump teams. He's going to be, I don't know, UFC team or something like that. I don't know. But I think I think the coaches are going to put more time and energy into their own homegrown guys than Mikey, who's going to jump teams. And, he's not really there all the time. He's all over the place. I'm just old school. I wouldn't be, I would train with Mikey, but I wouldn't be like his coach ever. Not that I could be his coach. Let's see. I feel like these gyms actually get more out of Mikey than they get out of him. We don't know that, but I'm sure Mikey will learn something. I wonder if Kennedy will have any new tricks at trials. Well, he went straight to ADCC. He didn't have to do trials. Mikey's the biggest homie hopper in jiu-jitsu. Yep, he's the biggest homie hopper. Nobody has jumped teams more than Mikey Musumeci. Does anyone even think of a team or affiliate when hearing of Mikey? No, we think of Mikey as his own thing. But on the flip side, who wants to come and support Mikey? So when you have that team behind you, they're going to support you. But with Mikey, he's jumped teams every which way. So I feel like that support system's not really there outside of it, like his sister and maybe some close friends. Says I sure don't. He's a solo act in terms of professional BJJ. So, and in some ways that can be good that he's kind of self-made, quotation air quotes. But on the flip side, he is solo. He doesn't have as much support. He's not going to have as many people having his back. He's not going to have as many people looking out for him when people try to screw him over, give him bad contracts. He's not going to have as many people. Spirit of justice. He's not going to have that many people that really care for him because he's all over the place. Jiu-jitsu, business, life is all about your relationships. How you're treating people. I don't know how Mikey treats these people. He might treat them as I don't know how he treats them. He might treat them as stepping stones. I don't know. So I just always wanted to do that, the black belt thing. I don't know. I don't know how Mikey treats them. I don't know how the coaches treat Mikey. There's got to be a reason he's jumping schools left and right. Or if he just wants to do his own thing, then, well, that kind of limits him a lot of times. So, like, say AOJ, I don't know if Mikey's cool with the AOJ guys. He can't go train with them, right? That's burned that bridge. If he burns the bridge with Cobrinha, one day, all right, no more training with Kennedy or Isaac. If he burns the bridge with Pedigo guys, well, they didn't have nobody for him. Burn the bridge with Kyle Terra, no more Kyle. Whose team can he go to? B team. All right, Mikey, you going to B team. He going to New Wave. I think at a certain point, people won't trust you anymore, Mikey. They don't. He ain't going to be around for long, Jason says Mikey has been training with Cobrinha and Kennedy for a year now. They have only good things to say about him. Both parties appear to really care about each other. Give it some more time, bro. How long was he with the Mendez bros? How long was he with? He was with Kyle for about 2 years. The funny thing about Mikey, when you watch his matches, you got to see what patch he's wearing. Give it time, man. Give it time. I want to see Mikey stick with somebody. He can go to Lloyd. Yeah, he can go to Lloyd Irvin. Go train with St. Jamil Hill. And what's the homeboy? What's the guy in the light feather? What is that kid's name? He's married to A-Ray. That's how I know him. Homeboy married to A-Ray. Yeah, I want to see Mikey stick with somebody. Mikey, stop homie hopping, bro. Stick with one team. Well, the thing with Cobrinha, I don't know if you heard this earlier, Jason, but I was thinking, man, he ain't a dude to really screw over, Mikey. They might take you out, bro. Put a hit out on you, bro, if you try to leave them. So Mikey might have messed up by joining Cobrinha because he can't leave Cobrinha. You can leave Kyle. You can leave Mendez bros. He can leave Pedigo. I think Cobrinha might put a hit out on him. I think Cobrinha got him hypnotized or something. So we'll see. I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, we were looking at Mikey and Kennedy training. But I feel like Mikey would leave eventually. Doesn't he want some people better than Kennedy? Doesn't he want some people better than Kennedy to train with? How much can he beat up on Kennedy before he needs some more training partners? Because to be honest, I mean, they got Kennedy and they got Jalen. I don't think Jalen does Nogi, though. But what happens when Mikey wants to train with some other people or the new big coach? What happens when Mikey wants to go over to homeboy with Ecological? You think is Cobrinha going to be cool with him going to Ecological? I don't think Cobrinha cool with people, leaving the gym like that to go train with Ecological or anybody else. And what if Mikey go back to Mendez bros? You think Cobrinha going to be cool with that? Come at me, Jason Whitfield. You think Cobrinha going to be cool with Mikey going back to the Mendez bros to train? Nah, man. Good luck with that. We got to match the main character. These guys were going at it, bro. These dudes were going at it. Watch this, man. Watch this stuff. You over here about to break his arm. And the thing is, Achilles Hosha, he be doing the same stuff to everybody else, but they do it back to him. He start crying. He got kicked in the elbow. My elbow hurts. I got that golfer's elbow, guys. I got that tennis elbow. So yeah, Miami different, bro. So this is the downside to doing some of these tournaments like this. They be getting away with some crazy stuff. IBJF, I hope that would be a foul or penalty or disqualification. Somebody kicked me in my elbow. Man, I'm suing. I'm gonna have to sue, bro. Somebody kicked me in my elbow. Try to break my elbow. Almost broke his arm with that foot sweep. That ain't no foot sweep. Tacky, get out of here. Tacky said that's a foot sweep. Was that a foot sweep, guys? That was an elbow kick. Attack it. I like the Tackets, man. They homeschool guys. Just remember that. They homeschooled. uh, they homeschooled. Um, that wasn't illegal. Stop making jiu-jitsu stuff. You sure? I'm pretty sure that is illegal. The thing is, you do these kind of events, you don't know what the rules are. There are no rules. They can break your arm. My wrist would have been jacked up. My elbow. Sure, let that happen to you. Kicking in this sport is illegal. Doesn't say it was a sweep because you are some hardcore substance. Yeah, it wasn't a sweep. Wasn't a kick. He literally made a sweeping motion with his foot. Get out of here, bro. That was a kick. That was a kick. So you should just get roughed up. I want to see these dudes that talk. I want to out this dude. The people that be in these comments, they don't train. They ain't got no cardio. They still a white belt. They the loudest people. Yeah, I wouldn't go to nobody's gym in Miami like that. They're gonna set you up. All right, they're going at it in the comments. We got another post. This time we got Alex. Shout out to Alex. Jason says the celebration at the end with like 20 people on the mats after the win, jumping up and down, screaming like they won a world title. I mean, that's just you guys. This is the future of jiu-jitsu. Main character. That's the future. That's what CJI is gonna turn into. That's what UFC gonna turn into. That's ADCC is turning into. The only tournament where you can't celebrate too much, IBJJF. They'd be like, all right, penalty. You celebrate too early or too extravagantly. Everywhere else, they can break your arm, then celebrate. Kicked you in the arm, broke your arm. So we got Alex Windling. You guys seen her before.
Maybe not so friendly banter. The Spider-Man pointing at each other. You copied me. No, you copied me. All of that drama is going to be the best for jiu-jitsu in the long run.
We are same, but different, but still same.
There's going to be a bunch of gym owners that have just spent a whole bunch of money installing these pits, and now they go, fuck, we have to figure out a way to do rounded edges now so we can start to incorporate a bowl. So there's going to be some pissed off gym owners, that's for sure.
It is such a crazy time in jiu-jitsu, but I am so here for it. Yes, I work for CJI, but I can totally appreciate everything that the UFC is doing. I'm kind of sad that it's becoming them pitted against each other almost. But when you think back to ADCC versus CJI, now Mo and Craig are friends and everything was done for the good of jiu-jitsu. So I think a little bit of maybe not so friendly banter, the Spider-Man pointing at each other. You copied me. No, you copied me. All of that drama is going to be the best for jiu-jitsu in the long run.
I 100% agree. I think more bodies in the market make it better. But then being the athlete, it's you get caught in the middle of all of it. And the reality is you just want to do jiu-jitsu. You just want to compete.
I think a little bit of.
So if you guys didn't know, UFC's got their own, kind of pit. Let's see if I can find it. They got their own little pit thing. It looks a little stupid to me, but whatever. What do I know? If that ain't a YouTube thumbnail. So you got this pit here. Looks like a bowl actually. Basically a ripoff of the karate pit that Craig Jones uses. Trying to find it. That's not a good picture. Here's one. The slanted wall. I think this looks cleaner to me. I like the slanted wall. Looks cleaner to me. No risk of you tripping against that wall. Also, this looks like a bowl. This looks like one of those serving bowls. I feel like Carol would have one at her house. Let's see. Like one of those glass ones. You know what I'm talking about, guys? I think you guys have seen them before. It kind of does. I'm trying to find some. I don't see any good ones. Yeah, I guess UFC bowl. They should sell some bowls and put UFC on there. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of. That's the UFC bowl. They should have made it out of glass. Isn't that the same thing? That's kind of the same thing, right? Can't you see that being like a, I don't know, octagonal? Octagonal? I can't spell, guys. I'm trying to find a good bowl. I can't find a good bowl, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like one of those bowls. Yeah, that's the bowl right there. There you go. That's the you. Ain't that the same thing? Ain't that the same bowl? I put some you know the glass ones, or the plastic ones. Put some salad in there, some fruit. That looked the same to me. Ain't that the same bowl? Now every time I look at the UFC bowl, I get hungry. I want some salad. Trying to find the salad bowl, guys. It looks like a salad bowl. Jason says, I think the UFC really struggled to get BJJ athletes for the show. I was looking for over the roster. I only know a handful. I guess they didn't want those exclusive contracts. So they try to get that. There we go, right there. There we go. Here we go. That's what I was looking for, guys. That's the bowl. I'm hungry now. Some of the names they had, like Gianni Grippo, they had Josh Cicernos, they had Andy Varelis, they had Tackett. They had some other guys, some social media people, some character, just some color characters. They had some tough guys. They had some of the 10 Planet guys, like Elijah Carlton, I think, on there. Maybe some guys you didn't know. They do like the 10 Planet circuit and PGF tournaments. So they had a decent mix of people. They made a mistake with the main guy, Rewerson. They should have put Gio Martinez or somebody, Baby Shark or somebody up there. They did a good mix. They put some killers in there. They put some cannon fodder. They put some dark horses in there. So I think they did a good job. They didn't do a good job of marketing it. It's supposed to come out this week. And so far, I haven't heard anything good about it. The UFC's marketing has been terrible. If you guys were here earlier, we talked about how the UFC back in 2016, where was the thing at? They were doing a good job marketing. They had the, Jose Aldo versus Conor. Look, man, they hyped everybody up. Nowadays, they can't hype up a sandwich. They couldn't hype up. But you see, like back in the day, bro, everybody was hyped up, to watch matches like this match. And I think the Khabib versus Conor was hyped up too. That was cool, man. Nowadays, look at the marketing they do. They just do social media marketing. They got that Nina girl who used to be a Playboy bunny. How do I know that? Research, guys. Research. They got the fighters doing all this social media stuff. It's a clown show. So just get ready for all the jiu-jitsu people to be doing the same stuff as the UFC people. What was that? They calling it the UFC, the Cereal Bowl. I'm gonna be honest. I think UFC. I think of this. I see this. I see this bowl here. I see this bowl. Bro, the ceramic, bro. I miss those bowls, bro. You could eat it. You could eat salad, some meat. Meat dish with rice. You could put some cereal. Some cereal could go in there too, bro. You good. You could eat whatever you want in that bowl. I need to get some. I need to get some cutlery, some bowls like that. We used to have those back in the 90s, I think. The ceramic ones, like thick ceramic ones, bro. Yeah. Put some cereal in there. You guys can tell I'm hungry. As soon as I'm done with this live stream, I'm gonna get some food. Shout out to Carol. I'm eating healthy, Carol. There's a little bit of a debate going on because of Kayla Harrison. What's harder, judo, Olympic gold medal, or UFC, world championship? So we got Dr. Rahadi Ferguson. He's gonna tell us.
Olympic gold in judo versus UFC champion. I mean, which is harder to win? We're having an argument in the dojo, but let's break it down and piss off both sides while we're at it. All right. That's how you get the most comments, right? No, that's how you get the most comments, man. You piss off both people. So first and foremost, man, let's talk about the talent pool and the death pool and the global death. Judo is we have over 200 countries that contest during the Olympics, from Mongolia to France to Japan to Brazil to Georgia to Uzbekistan. The UFC, it's elite, but still relatively regional. Most champs come from a handful of countries: U.S., Brazil, and Dagestan. More countries, more competitors, deeper funnel. Olympic judo wins that hands down. So number two, we have the frequency and the opportunity. You can fight for a UFC title multiple times in a year. The Olympics, once every 4 years. One shot, no rematch, no rematch clause, no trilogy. You don't just need to win. You need to peak perfectly on the right day every 4 years. Timing and pressure, Olympic judo is just a different beast, 100%. Now let's go to the qualification process. The qualification system, to get into the UFC, you need hype, skill, and a few big wins. To qualify for the Olympics in judo, and you need to compete for 2 to 4 years at Grand Slams, Grand Prix, World Championships, Continental Crowns, Continental Opens, and you need to be ranked top, I think, 18 or 20 in the world just to get in. And your country still might leave you off the team. So Olympic judo it wins in that category too. Let's go for rule set and margin of error. Number 4, UFC gives you rounds to recover. You can get dropped, win, still come back. There's judges that can create a split decision to the point where you guys can fight again and get a rematch. In judo, you fall once the wrong way, match is over. Mishandle the tempo of the match is over. You don't get to fight back in Olympic level judo. It's not like Olympic level wrestling. You either dominate or you go home. And the fifth thing, the legacy and the cultural weight of the prize. The UFC gets you fame and money. Olympic gold gets you immortality. So there's no interim Olympic champ, Lerone. There's no interim Olympic champ. One medal, one championship every 4 years. That's it. Now you tell me which one you think is harder, UFC or Olympic gold, especially in judo. So let the debate begin. Go ahead and drop your stuff in the comments, but bring facts, not feelings. Olympic gold in judo versus UFC.
So that's Dr. Rahadi. That's Dr. Rahadi. So, he's actually a judo Olympian, and he also fought MMA. So he's got a good voice in this debate here. Most people, I think even Khabib would say Olympic judo is going to be harder. I mean, you can lose. It's easier to lose in judo than it is in MMA. Your back touch the floor. Up, you're done. And it's every 4 years. So Let's just read what they got to say. He said, let's talk facts, not feelings, because one of these ain't even close. UFC champ fights 2 to 3 times per year. That's a lot too. Maybe 1 time per year. Judo gold, 1 shot every 4 years. Judo's in 200 plus countries. UFC pulls, you guys can't even see. Let me move that. UFC pulls for maybe 30 seriously. You do the math on talent pool. In judo, you must qualify over years, winning on the IJF circuit, climbing world rankings, beating national teammates for 1 Olympic spot. Meanwhile, in the UFC, hype plus a win streak equals title shot. Sometimes not even that. Judo gives you 1 mistake before you're out. You get tossed, ippon, done. No comeback story. No round 2. Miss that window and you wait 4 more years or retire trying. So what's harder? Olympic gold is the purest, highest, and most unforgiving form of competition there is. Argue with your feelings if you want, but you can't argue with the data. Drop your take in the comments. We got one. Harry St. Ledger says, no interim Olympic champ. That's good. I think it's non-comparable thing. Harder is subjective. I think getting the Pope beat out of you is a different kind of hard. Then you have a sport where more countries in the world compete in it. I think it's oranges and apples. But they're both combat sports, so you can compare them in some regard. It says you get the Pope beat out of you in judo too. Well, in judo, you might get your head slammed into the mat. Of course, but you would that could happen in MMA too. Of course, but you would have all people know what I mean. I remember you telling the story about your mom seeing your face all lumped up and being scarred. The difficulty in judo is, as you said, you get 1 chance every 4 years, so the opportunity is more scarce in judo, but to win in judo, you just need to be great at judo and be an elite athlete, but to be UFC champion, you can't just be great at one thing and be an elite athlete. You have to be really good in multiple areas and multiple disciplines. And the argument can be made that being great in multiple disciplines is harder than being great in one discipline. It's an excellent argument, but the population pool, the population pool goes back to it being more scarce, being it's so many more at the top level because of sheer numbers. But the argument is still there for it being harder to be UFC champion because you have to be great in so many years. In so many areas, and in judo you don't. You just need two great. You just need to be great at judo and be an elite athlete. You can be an elite athlete in the UFC and be great in one discipline and never sniff a title. MMA is the closest thing as far as sport goes to actually fighting in the street as well, so it's not the same thing, but it's really, but it's as real as it's going to get legally. Well, slap fight's pretty real. Bare knuckle boxing kind of real. I just don't think you can compare the two. They're different. Not necessarily. Demetrius Johnson a few months ago talked about how in MMA you don't necessarily have to be well-rounded. Alex Pereira is a great example and won a middleweight belt. Was it middleweight? I don't know. Mostly with pure striking. In other promotions, Ben Askren was a champion while doing no actual striking. This is becoming less true over time, though, as MMA evolves and grows as a sport. Alex Pereira got away with it because of his God-giving power, but as soon as he fought a well-rounded fighter, he lost the belt, and Ben Askren was able to do that because it was no UFC level, so yeah. Both people that have won Olympic gold for a grappling sport, both won UFC gold. How many UFC champs have gone on to win Olympic gold after? Seems pretty cut and dry. Well, that's not a fair comparison. We got some more stuff. Got can I play this? If it's got music out, I won't play it.
Wrestling is one of those.
I'm not gonna play it. This is a little funny post from UFC. From Keith Krikorian. Made a little funny post. So we're going to scroll through the images, but let's read what he says first. People ask me all the time, Keith, what's it like being the face of the UFC BJJ? The truth is, I feel right at home, single-handedly carrying the sport. out of the dark ages and into each and every home in America. Sarcasm, guys. Sure, fighting off swarms of undying fans who would do anything to get a selfie with me can get tiring, but I try to remember who I'm doing it for. I do it so that small up-and-coming athletes like Mikey and Gordon can get the shot at the big leagues too. But please, don't look at me as a god. Remember me for who I truly am, a galactic overlord with whom the fate of jiu-jitsu and probably the world solely depend on. So let's zoom in so you guys can see. So that's the first image. Second image, we zoom in. Hey, that's Mr. Keith Krikorian right there. Third image, little circle there. There you go. You guys can see him. Fourth image, there we go. So he's really doing some heavy lifting, you know. Every time they do these shows, these reality TV shows, UFC, BJJ, Who's Number One, I remember thinking, man, I'm going to get famous. I did Who's Number One. I'm going to get famous. Nothing. No money, no fame, nothing. So Keith is really good. Oh, that's him at ADCC trials. You guys see some ecological jiu-jitsu on that one. Was that the East Coast trial? So yeah, he lost to Ecological Bros. Lost to Cade and not Cade. What's the homeboy's name? Cole, Cole, Cade. Everybody's name sounds the same. Lost to Nikki. That's Josh Sarnos. Same characters over here. Got these guys. They doing well. Ecological, representing Ecological. So we'll try to tune in and see the show. Let's see.
All right, boys.
Can't play that music.
I'm finding the.
That's Daddy Dana meeting the jiu-jitsu guys he doesn't care about. Did you guys see him his hand shaking there a little bit? I'm gonna watch it again. I think his hands were shaking. The one with the cup. There's somebody running around the wall. Kevon and Gianni, Tackett, Andy, and I think that's Keith. These some kids, man. These some kids. Sir Cernos over there. Sorry. Look at Dana White's hand holding the cup, though. Wasn't it shaking? Oh, no, he was just moving it. I'm going to be honest, he doesn't care. Dana White don't care. The autism in the show is going to be amazing. Nope, no, it won't be. I really think the UFC is trying to get everyone under contract is the main issue. Baby Shark was probably like, no, I want to do other shows. Well, they also were this was filmed like during the World Championships. So some of the guys, actually none of those guys would have done Worlds. Baby Shark would have done Worlds though, which he did do Worlds. So yeah, none of these guys really do the gi like that. So yeah, Baby Shark and Pato for sure wanted to win Worlds. And to be honest, what's going to be around longer? UFC, BJJ, Who's Number One, or IBJJF Worlds? I'm going to be honest. I think Worlds going to be around a lot longer. It's got the just the legacy vibe, you know? A lot of autism over here. Yeah. And if you guys were looking at the thumbnail for this video, we had Mr. Jordan Burroughs as the lead figure. So we're going to talk a little bit about him today, just through social media. So in this post, he said, David Taylor's kind of been our guinea pig. He's got me thinking a lot about college coaching. If the right offer came to the table, I would be willing to sit down and talk about it. So this is Jordan Burroughs on if he would coach college wrestling. So he saw what David Taylor was making. Mr. David Taylor is making over $500,000 a year. So I think Jordan Burroughs, he got a lot of kids. So he might need that money coming through. And Flow Wrestling says, yes, please. All I see is gold, which is Jordan Burroughs. Burroughs went in depth on why he's changed his mind about coaching college. It's that money. That money looking good. On the most recent episode of their podcast, JB to Iowa. I don't think JB's got the Iowa. My friend said Nebraska would be a good one. Penn. I want to see JB at Rutgers. Let's bring JB back to Jersey, bro. I mean, realistically, Iowa's a good team. Penn State's, the best team right now. Oklahoma's coming up. But let's get Jersey back on the board. Let's get Dirty Jersey back on the board, guys. JB's he's a Jersey bro. He's a Jersey boy. Let's build Jersey back up. I had the same argument for Alex Rosinski. Instead of moving to America, building up jiu-jitsu in America, build up jiu-jitsu in Europe. I assure you, he probably would have more resources from the European if he pulled the Europeans together. Look at Fion School, Arma. It's state-of-the-art facilities. Man, imagine Brzezinski was there. Imagine Brzezinski, he could stay in Poland. He could go to Denmark. He could go to Sweden. He could go to Germany. He could go to UK. He could go anywhere in Europe and do really well. And man, he could build that talent there. Maybe he wants to do that in America. That's possible. Was there anything else there?
Collegiate programs. So I'm kind of watching and saying, okay, here's where I'm at in my career. Here's what I'm thinking. Do I want to transition? Is collegiate coaching something that I'm interested in? And so he's kind of been our test subject. He's the guinea pig for all of the guys in my space, right? Close to retirement, on the fringes of saying, okay, do we sit back and rest, or do we jump into this game? And the hardest part, right? I've got 5 little ones. There's very little work-life balance. And talking to David, I got the chance to see what he's built. He's in a good place. He's got me thinking a lot about college coaching and the possibility of it. But you need money. You need money. But the blueprint's there. And if the right offer comes to the table, I would definitely be willing to sit down and talk about it. Honestly, spending time with David and John has kind of changed my perspective too. Those are both guys that I admire and respect. So when I was sitting with them, I'm like, David, what do you think? Here's what I got. Here's what I see. I've had some interest from some collegiate programs. So I'm kind of watching and saying, okay, here's where I'm at in my career. Here's what I'm thinking. Do I want to transition? Is collegiate coaching something that I'm interested in? And so he's kind of been our test subject. He's the guinea pig for all of the guys in my space, right? Close to retirement, on the fringes of saying, okay, do we sit back and rest, or do we jump into this game? And the hardest part, right? I've got 5 little ones. There's very little work-life balance. And talking to David, I got the chance to see what he's built. He's in a good place. He's got me thinking a lot about college coaching. The possibility of it, but you need money. You need money.
Yo, JB ready to coach, man. Give him $500,000. Get JB $500,000. He worth it. Get my man JB $500,000. Bonuses, private jet. He gonna put the work in. David Taylor got it made, bro. He making money, got access to the private jet, can continue to wrestle at a high level and give back. Yeah, JB ready, bro. JB ready. Rutgers, what you got, Rutgers? What you got, Rutgers? And man, listen, Rutgers, I'm just saying Jersey. I'm in Jersey, so man, them dual meets be packed. I mean, there's some other wrestling programs that he could go to, but I would like to see him in Jersey. That way. He's already in Philly. He could go to Penn, University of Penn. Which I didn't know that's a Ivy League school. I didn't know that until recently. Jason says, so the guy they have coaching against Mikey won Pan, so really they could have gotten anybody fight. Yeah. I won it a long time ago. Yeah, well, that kid, to be honest, they should have let him do Worlds. They kind of took his momentum. I mean, he's really good. Maybe he can still win some major titles, but think about Jalen, the kid Cobringa's new son. He won Pans, boom, won his world title. He's set. That kid, Reverson, could have done the same thing. He already beat Baby Shark. If he beat Pato, man, I'm gonna be honest. What would do more for your career? Fight Mikey on this crazy show, UFC show. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Go beat Pato at Worlds. How much momentum would you get? More momentum beating Mikey or Pato? I gotta say you gain more momentum beating Pato. More opportunities going to open up for beating Pato. Mikey's super great, but Mikey's been sectioned off at one championship. Now he's sectioned off of UFC. You know what does it mean to beat Mikey anymore? You fight Mikey and Nogi, yeah, you know. Okay, maybe you beat Mikey. Cool. I think it would mean more to beat Pato right now because Pato's hot. Pato's been winning everything. He didn't win ADCC, but he won everything in the gi. I think Reverson should have just he should have bet on himself to at least do Worlds. He had the momentum on his side. As far as I know, he never did Nogi. Maybe it was an opportunity. Maybe the UFC might be an opportunity. But he could have cemented his legacy. What's going to add to your legacy? UFC BJJ that just started, nobody knows about. Might be Dana White might cancel it next week. Or if you win a world title, you beat Pato, you win a world title. Man, that would have been it. You good, bro? You good for life, bro? You good. You beat Pato. Now you go back to UFC BJJ. They got to give you more money. They're going to treat you way better. So I think some short-sightedness. Sometimes you got to take the opportunity. Sometimes you got to take the opportunity, and sometimes you got to pass on the opportunity. So I think he should have. He's young. He had great momentum going in. There's no guarantee he'll win next year. You know, he had a lot of momentum. He should have done Worlds instead of UFC. They might have gave him $5,000. Guaranteed $5,000. But I see it as, you know, on the back end, he could have made more money doing seminars if he won Worlds, beating Pato. You beat Mikey. I just, you know, Mikey's not in his prime. I mean, I'm not in my prime either. I don't know what our primes are, but the Mikey now is not the Mikey, you know, the 4-time world champion Mikey that was winning everything. So I think it would have been more. It would have been worth more to beat Pato than Mikey right now. Like right now today. Which match would give you more notoriety? Some people would say Mikey. That's true, Mikey. I think beating Pato would say more. I could be wrong though. I'm biased. So that's JB. We got some more JB coming up, but it sounds like he's ready for that big payday. I can see Penn, University of Penn. I can see Nebraska. Nebraska's his alma mater. I can see Rutgers. I can see, you know, some other universities I can't think of right now. He could do a Kenny Monday and go to HBCU. That's possible as well. Jason says the girl running the BJJ portion, she was a MMA fighter. She is a black belt, but she is running it like an MMA promotion. It doesn't work as evidenced by the comments. She don't know what she's doing. Why don't they put an expert? Why can't we get a real expert? We don't need some UFC. We don't need some old fighter girl. We need an expert in marketing. Talking about, famous people, we got Mario Lopez. He got his fourth stripe actually. He ready for his brown belt soon. And he says, "What a fun journey this has been with jiu-jitsu. Due to my crazy schedule and injuries and travel, it took a minute, but I finally got my last stripe on my purple. Next stop, brown." So, shout out to him, man. He's one of the only celebrities that will train. We talked about yesterday. We talked about Anthony Bourdain. He would train. Anthony Bourdain started jiu-jitsu at 58. So respect to him. Mario Lopez, he wrestled as a youth, but then he got into jiu-jitsu. So man, shout out to these guys out here. Danny Choppa says, "Alec, been out of the stream this week. Just got a promotion." Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, go make that money, bro. Also just competed Sunday for IBJF this weekend. Ready for IBJF this weekend. As long as my body makes it. Yeah, man, take care of yourself, bro. I'm trying to be like Mario Lopez over here, still training. Talking about wrestling programs, JB. Well, the ladies are growing too. We got the ladies wrestling. So 2025 women's wrestling welcomes, what's this girl's name? Welcome to the Hive. Head coach Kenya Salone. So she is the first head women's wrestling coach. Welcome to the nest, coach. What Delaware? What is this? My internet's going slow, guys. Delaware State University. So they got, the women's coaching is coming through, man. Yeah. So the women's programs are growing. The women's coaching is growing. So this is the first NCAA and first HBCU women's head coach. That's great, man. So like I said, the women's programs are growing, coming up, man. So if you have any daughters, put them in some wrestling. If they ain't good at nothing else, put them in some wrestling. Get that scholarship to college, Got some more, JB?
That I've really got a chance to say, hold on, pause. I need to make a conscious decision of whether I want to do this or not. And I need to kind of sit back and get some things in order. I've got a big family. I've got 5 little ones at home. Me being on the road and me training daily is not always conducive to them having a present father. Secondarily, I lost my dad this year, right? So my family and I, we were going through a lot of turmoil and trying to make sure that his final days were as happy and as restful as they possibly could be. And then last, our RTC imploded here in Philadelphia. And so there was just so much happening here that it was just really difficult for me to get back into a routine when there was nothing but uncertainty surrounding me. So I just needed some time. I'm still on the mat a couple times a week, still training. And this has been the first year that I've really got a chance to say, hold on, pause. I need to make a conscious decision of whether I want to do this or not. And I need to kind of sit back and get some things in order. I've got a big family. I've got 5 little ones at home. Me being on the road and me.
You guys haven't seen JB much this year. He had a lot going on. I believe his father passed away. Probably January, February. I think I was in Jersey during that time period too. So he said he had that going on, take care of his family. And then his RTC. I didn't know about the RTC. I know the head coach had left, but I think they lost some other athletes too. I think some other athletes had left as well. So people be trolling. It's usually Penn State fans. They be like, the time has come. Let's move on, dude. JB still got some wrestling left in him, I mean, you only got one life. Might as well go out fighting, let him wrestle some more. Someone asked what happened at the RTC. Let's see. I don't know what happened there. I do know the coach moved on. Someone asked, who are you? James Brasco asked who the guy was. Says, I'm a 2-time D1 wrestling black belt, MMA warrior, father 4, 3 times Golden Glove, and this dude's crazy. 2-time training camps in PA, 2 in New York, wrestling assistant coach at Lehigh U, just to name a few. I know the game. Some people I don't trust what most of these people will be saying. Okay, someone asked what happened at the RTC, says the head coach stepped down. He's helping the youth in New Jersey and coaching the cadet and junior duels team. He's giving back a lot. He's a human and should be able to take his time to take care of himself and his home. Responsible way of approaching life. What happened at Philly RTC? Someone said Burroughs is retired. He just doesn't realize it yet. So, JB's still fighting, man. Now we got Mikey.
About jiu-jitsu that's insane that nobody really thinks about is how violent it is. If you choke someone and they don't tap, they die. If you go for a joint submission, their arm will literally fall off, or leg. It's a very violent sport. One thing about jiu-jitsu that's insane that nobody really thinks about is how violent it is. If you choke someone and they don't tap, they die. If you go for a joint submission, their arm will literally fall off, or leg. It's a very violent sport. One thing about
so that's Mikey, man. Mikey, I like Mikey, but that might have been a little cringe, Mikey. I say some cringy stuff too, but that might have been pretty cringe. Craig Jones says pure violence. I mean, don't get it twisted. Mikey will tear your leg off. Remember that match in 1 FC? I mean, Mikey was fighting dudes that didn't know no leg defense. Mikey over here destroying people's legs in one championship. He fighting old dudes like Imanari and did he fight Shinya Aoki? Yeah, he fighting these old dudes that should be retired, Imanari and Aoki. Danny says, man, I know it's bad timing, but I always forget about Jordan Burroughs versus Ben Askren wrestling match. Kind of felt like a fever dream. Hope Ben is doing better, though. Yeah, we'll check in on him. Maybe we'll watch that wrestling match, too. Ben Askren's having some health complications recently, so I didn't see any updates since yesterday, but we'll see. So Miha says, I remember how traumatized I was when I saw someone's arm literally fall off for the first time. Please join our group therapy. I must be training in the wrong places. I've never seen that move before. Mikey, don't let Mikey go on the microphone, guys. Take the microphone from Mikey. I tell all my new white belt students that if they aren't used to seeing limbs fall off the human body by blue belts, this isn't the right sport for them. Mr. Jones, there's Mikey. He got to defend himself. Oh, you guys can't see. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments. Mr. Jones, this is an IBJF match with advantages. I said specifically in the video, the new rule set brings out more violence since, sir, than any other rule set. Why the lack of comprehension? Let me just skateboard in peace. Mikey, easy target, man. Mikey, an easy target because he's very emotional, right? Mikey's very emotional. Does anybody else agree with me on that? I think Mikey's just very, very emotional. And people get under his skin. They really get to him. But take someone like Craig Jones. You're never going to get under Craig Jones's skin. It's impossible. Someone said, "Hey man, you mean Craig Jones's rule set is pretty sick?" They're going in on Mikey. Mikey, what did Owen Jones say? Oh, he's the one. You got a lot of people over here in these comments. Calm down, Auntie. It's not that serious. Mikey says, read my stories, mate. I literally said he is the major contributor to the rule set. To be fair, you and I almost saw a foot fall off during a match. It's so violent that we kiss each other each match. Mikey shouldn't be the ambassador of jiu-jitsu to the casual/MMA fans. His level of autism belongs to the mat and the mat alone. Yeah, he got too much autism. Danny says, LOL saying he's emotional is almost an understatement. Feels like he has been crashing out more and more as he gets older. I'm not sure why, but yeah, he has been crashing out. That last match at ONE FC, that was kind of or one, whatever, the one with Gabriel Souza. I was like, bro, somebody take that microphone from him. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Mikey. He need to stop just eating pizza. Mikey, you need some fruit and vegetables, bro. That all pizza diet is not working for you. In my opinion, I doubt that you probably wouldn't even know what to do. Sorry. These comments, bro. Exactly what I said. Mikey is way too corny to be the face. The first season should be between Craig and Gordon, but of course UFC fumbled that. Yeah, they should have had Craig and Gordon on there. UFC should have put that money to get Craig and Gordon. That would have been worth it. Says, yes, please, can we just forbid him from speaking? I get nauseous every time he opens his mouth. Poor Mikey, man. He just trying his best. And people just going after him. Why does the UFC think Mikey is a huge star that people want to see? Can't stand to hear the guy talk. Oh, no. People say the same thing about me. He's John Jones's power bot. Don't say that. Oh, that's bad. I shouldn't have read that. It's called heat. Mikey gets people wanting to see him get beat, but he is pretty good and wins. That creates more heat. While I'm at it, while I'm with you, 95% of the way, the last 5% is understanding. It's part of the spectacle. That way you want to be mad at it and can have fun with it. Either way, here we are talking about it. The guy talks like a caffeinated cartoon character on a mushroom trip. Yeah. Jason says, Mikey is kind of reminding me of Penn. They sound very similar. We also did an episode on concussions. You know, I'm sure Mikey suffered a lot of concussions, and we don't know what else. We don't know what medication he's on. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how the pizza sauce is interacting with his mind. The pasta sauce, the pizza sauce. He got a lot going on. You thought CJI... Oh, I can't say that. Can't wait for Gordon and Craig to join forces to stop Mikey. Oh, no. The comments going wild over here, guys. Poor Mikey, man. The same thing happened on Reddit. They kind of ran Mikey off. BJJ Salsa. Mikey versus Craig is the fight to make. The lamest stuff ever. They going in on Mikey, bro. Mikey collects team patches like Infinity Stones. Why is anyone looking to him for brand loyalty? I mean, not only did he jump from all these teams, he jumped from one championship to UFC. My man, he a homie jumper. Homie jumper. That's the worst term. That ain't the right term. It's painful that he's so talented, but also just perfectly resembles the dictionary definition of a geek. Yeah, Mikey. Poor Mikey, man. He's just trying his best. He ain't trying to hurt nobody, except for those guys he fought at one championship. We got another post by Craig. Man, don't ever piss Craig Jones off. I like you, Craig. Don't come after me, bro. I'm an easy target too. So he's going after the Claudia girl that's running the UFC BJJ. Let's see what he's got to say.
No.
I can't play the music. So he's kind of going after her. I don't know what she was saying.
So this is a topic that it's very delicate to a lot of girls because of the pain, because they don't know if it's gonna be good, because they're traumatized by a guy that hurted her or something like that. So I have 3 tips to give you so you can penetrate girls better.
Oh, Jesus.
What are they?
Not for
First,
kids, guys.
make her feel good. Make her feel like
It's
a
not for kids.
queen. Make her feel like a badass. Make her feel good. That's gonna help her to relax. So treat her very well that night. Second, bring a toy in. Bring a vibrator
Not made for
in.
kids, guys.
That's
Oh,
gonna
God.
help her. She's not relaxed. If she doesn't know how to breathe, she's gonna feel pain. So a vibrator can make her relax better with a lot of stimulation on the clitoris, right? And third,
Brazilians,
a lot
man.
of lube, right?
Brazilians.
'Cause, you know, like the ass doesn't get wet like the pussy does. So she needs to get hydrated in there, and lube will help a lot.
Brazilians,
So
bro.
try to use these 3 tips from a girl that knows that a lot of girls, so in my opinion, every girl can feel pleasure and can have a lot of orgasms.
No! God, dog. So the original post was, kids are watching, they're looking for heroes. Let's give them something real to look up to. Then, man, Craig Jones coming after you, bro. Why did she post that on social media? Why did she post that? Brazilians, bro. Brazilians, man. You know, there's some stuff you learn when you get your black belt, guys. When you get your black belt, you learn some Brazilian secrets. I can't share them with you. Can't share the Brazilian secrets with you guys, but just wanted to let you guys know that there are some secrets that we learn when we get our black belt. Jason says, "Forget my previous post, Alec. I'm just watching all the UFC episodes now." What'd you say? Danny says, "I used to love watching Claudia's UFC run. I almost went to one of her seminars. You should have gone. You would have learned some stuff back when she was fighting for the title. Sadly, seems her mind was focused somewhere else since she didn't win it." Yo, I didn't know about this either. She is Brazilian though, so she got some Brazilian techniques. Craig Jones find everything, bro. Man, whoo, this show. What happened with this show? I didn't even get to half the stuff. Man, Craig Jones found this stuff. I can't defend her. I'm not defending her. I learned. Thank you for sharing. First off, thank you for sharing. We need to know that. But yeah, Craig Jones. Don't mess with Craig Jones, guys. Craig, I like you. Craig, don't come after me, bro. She got CTE too, guys. She over here licking her lips, talking about some stuff. This ain't made for kids, guys. This ain't made for kids. If you're a kid, I'm sorry, man. This was a family show. It ain't a family show right now because of her and Craig Jones. That's me taking notes. Where's my notepad at? Oh, you guys can't see. Let me switch that over. One of the gifts over here got the dude taking notes. Dang. Says, God, I hope Jay doesn't see this. Yo, I forgot about J-Rod. And he it says, these instructionals are getting weird. Oh, man. She should have. Oh, no. Take her out, UFC. Take her out. Can I get the PDF? I don't want to get hurted. I don't want to get hurted here. Many such cases when it comes to Brazilian. You do not want Craig Jones as your enemy. That's what I'm saying. This is just a pleasure to watch. That's what Gordon says from the corner as well. Where did he even find this? It was on her social media. Oh, she has OnlyFans? Oh, man. I forgot. Oh, she has one. I didn't know until Craig's story. Well, Craig had OnlyFans too. So when is the collab? Yeah, she's gonna be collabing. I mean, yeah, she definitely gonna be collabing with Craig Jones in a little bit. Are you teaching this at your next seminar? What is she saying? What is her response after that, guys? Dang. You know, they do some different stuff in Brazil. They definitely do some different stuff in Brazil, guys. So here's Gio Martinez. He's got a little bit to talk about. I don't think we're going to cover too much today, guys. I'm already tired. I'm hungry. Gio Martinez, he had a post. He says, UFC really dropped the ball on this one. Everyone knows me and Mikey bring views, drama, and excitement. When it comes to no-gi, people tune in to watch us throw down, simple as that. They announced the match, hyped it up, then pulled the plug for no reason, no real reason. That's the second time this year it's been canceled, and still no solid explanation. Honestly, I feel kind of disrespected. I wasn't asked to coach against Mikey on the UFC show. Yo, who dropped the ball? Claudia, get your mind out the gutter and get the right matches set up. Get the right matches set up, Claudia. What are you doing? Get your mind out the gutter and put the matches we want to see. Let's see. Yes. I feel disrespected. I wasn't asked to coach against Mikey on the UFC show. That's just weird to me. And I gotta ask, where's the $8 million push for jiu-jitsu the UFC keeps talking about? UFC they be lying, bro. It's all marketing. All they gotta do is say they're gonna invest $8 million. They're not gonna invest $8 million. They put all the money in designing that bowl, the UFC bowl, and then, they don't have to put $8 million up. All they got to do is say they're going to do it, and then nobody holds them accountable. So where's the $8 million push for jiu-jitsu the UFC keeps talking about? Because I haven't seen or felt anything that shows they're really investing in the scene. Instead of booking random gi guys that don't move the needle in no gi, how about you guys give people what they actually want? Me and Mikey has real history, real story, and real hype. The UFC missed a big opportunity here. Mikey says, would have been an honor to do the show with you. Unfortunately, we weren't permitted to. Why not? Why weren't they permitted to do it with Gio? Why not? Why not, Mikey? Makes no sense. Definitely out of my control. Why are you in this? Why are you selling yourself to this UFC stuff? You got no say in anything. Didn't you learn from dealing with one championship? I felt that, Mikey working with UFC, he would have more of a say. But what's the point if you got no say? You're just a contract. You just like everybody else in UFC, Mikey. You're just a contractor. You got to do whatever they say, but you can't push back. So what's the point of joining UFC, man? It makes no sense. He says, definitely out of my control, so no one be mad at me, please. But still, we are promised to have our match later this year. Sorry again, dudes. Well, you already canceled 2 times. Who's going to trust that the match is going to go through, Mikey? Nobody trusts that the match will go through. Says, Mikey, you are the star signing of this UFC BJJ organization. You need to project your voice and demand certain things. With Gio, you had the chance for a real beef to get eyes interested. There is no one that will want to watch the show with your current opponent. I think you and the UFC dropped the ball, and Gio deserves the opportunity and rematch. I think it's unfortunate because it's wasted money that will not build the sport any more than it already is. That was, who said that? That was right. Yo, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was it. He said everything that needed to be said. Says for real. Yeah. Says you are too much of a risk for the marketing machine to lose $13 million. Gio is in for CGI too. Real recognize real. Is he for CGI? It says, to be honest, the UFC Fight Pass and Claudia have their favorites. They aren't choosing guys based on skill. It's about who they know that they can put on. They definitely missed an opportunity on this one. If you aren't friends with them or who they put on, you aren't getting in. Well, that means their show ain't going to do well. Says, no disrespect intended. However, there are far bigger names, no-gi, to pump the sport. I mean, you mentioned Diogo, who is the current 66 kilogram ADCC champ, so the no-gi accolades alone would put him ahead. He wasn't chosen on no-gi skills because he doesn't do no-gi. This is a no-gi show. That's like putting Eric Munez against Gordon Ryan makes zero sense from a no-gi skill standpoint. Both Eric and Riverson are elite gi players, but they aren't no-gi guys and shouldn't be headlining a major no-gi event. That's my point. No disrespect intended. Kind of reminds me of Nicholas Margali when he went over to no-gi. They gave him like easy super fights, you know. Jason says, I wonder if the reason that guy got the coach's job on the show was because he is a platinum member of Claudia's OnlyFans. I need to do more research. I'm not going to be live streaming that, but I'm going to do more research for you guys and get to the bottom of this. I'm going to get to the bottom of this, guys. Not on camera though. I agree with you on that then. I'm just a gi guy, obviously, so seeing gi guys get bigger opportunities like these excites me. There are definitely more deserving no-gi guys. I won't disagree there. I actually like seeing anyone that's a high-level black belt get opportunities. It's also is cool that a kid like Riverson is getting this recognition, especially specifically from where he came from. I hope he gets it done, to be honest. Much rather watch him get the opportunity than the white belt wrestlers that they have been putting on instead of black belts that have put in the time. So yeah. I think Gio was right, man. He should have been on there. We looked at this earlier. JB said he's not retired. He just took a little bit of a break.
Deliberation, sitting down with my family and talking about it. I wanted to make an announcement that I've decided to no longer eat red meat. I'm messing with you. I'm not retired. I'm not retired. After a lot of deliberation, sitting down with my family and talking about it, I wanted to make an announcement that I've decided to no longer eat red meat.
You guys heard it here first. Well, not here first. It's posted yesterday on Flow Wrestling. So JB, Jordan Burroughs, no longer retired. He wasn't retired at all. He just said he's not going to eat red meat. I think if some school makes a big offer, $500,000 or maybe more, Jordan Burroughs said he will go to coaching. So I would much rather see him pull a David Taylor and just go that route than see him kind of do anything else, really. I want to see JB. I want to see the next generation of these wrestlers. You got David Taylor, next generation. I want to see the Kyle Dake when he gets ready to retire, go into coaching. That'll be like a golden era. Having all these Olympic champs coaching, they're still kind of young and they still good, they still strong. Have these Olympic guys out there wrestling and building up programs. The same thing kind of happened with John Smith and Cale Sanderson and the Brands Bros. But it's a newer age, I feel like JB, Kyle Dake, David Taylor, they have grown up in this social media age. They're more savvy. They're more personable. They can get numbers. They can get people to view the sport. They're bringing just the coaches alone are bringing people to view the sport. And their personalities. They got good personalities. I want to see David Taylor get a new cow, a new miniature cow. I want to see Jordan Burroughs with a new kid. I want to see David Taylor Kyle Dake doing something else. Lifting some weights or something. I don't know. But they're personal people. You kind of care about them, I can't say the same thing about someone like Cale Sanderson. He's so he's up in the monastery. You don't know what's going on with Cale. The Brands brothers so crazy. You don't know what's going on with those guys. But I feel like the new generation of coaches is going to be cool. So shout out to JB, man. So yeah, we saw this earlier. Oh yeah. So man, these guys going crazy over there, man. My neck would be jacked up, bro. I'm gonna have to throw some fists after this. So they were both. You had Luke. I'm about to say Lucas Osha. Achilles Osha was doing the can opener to Lyra, but Lyra came back to do it to him. But then you see Achilles kind of complaining. So here he is doing it right there. So I just don't like how this kid does all this stuff and then complains when people do it back to him. Yeah, it's just bad luck all around. But this is Miami. What do you expect in Miami, guys? What do you expect in Miami? Here's the video that I think Jason was talking about. So they were celebrating, beating the kid. They're over there celebrating, kissing his wife, Cyborg's ex-girlfriend. Yo, bro, you start can opening me and kicking my elbow, I'm gonna be upset. Oh, you slamming them too? Slapping them? Dang. That's that Miami jiu-jitsu, man. It's different out there, man. It's different over there. I just worry about these people, bro. They crazy. Some crazy people, bro. Crazy people out here, man. I don't know what to say. If you guys looked at the thumbnail, we also had Helena. And she's joined CJI2 lineup as the first female competitor. So she's on here. It says Craig Jones has officially announced that Helena will be the first female competitor. Oh, right there. That's what he said. Just go to Instagram for that then.
It might look like I have some regrets of this women's division highest paid person history as I admire the beauty of the ledge in this Welsh countryside, but athlete number one in the highest paid women's division in history is Helena Craver out of Team New Wave. August 30, 31st, free on YouTube.
So you guys heard it from Craig Jones himself. Helena will be the first female athlete on there. What happened to it? Yeah, she's gonna be the first one. Says still a teenager. Craver has already built one of the most impressive resumes in the sport and continues to rise. She broke through 2024 when she won the ADCC West Coast Trials, earning her place in the sport's most elite no-gi tournament. Despite her youth, Craver made it all the way to the podium at ADCC 2024, securing a silver medal and becoming the youngest competitor in history to medal at the prestigious event. The momentum carried over to other major shows. She won the inaugural lightweight title at Polaris 28 and successfully defended it. Then at the start of 2025, she claimed the Who's Number 1 featherweight championship and a win over elite competitor Elizabeth Clay. Craver was recently promoted to black belt by John Danaher. They didn't talk about her winning world championship at all. After winning IBJJF Worlds. Why didn't they mention that at all? Cementing her position as one of the top rising stars in the grappling world. Next up, she's set to lead Team North America as captain of the first ever Polaris female squad event. Why is she leading Team America? Why is a 17-year-old, 18-year-old leading Team America? Another sign of her growing leadership role in the sport. We'll see. I mean, I don't want no 18-year-old leading me, but, whatever. Was this more Craig Jones stuff? What was this?
Ding, 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 diggy, ding, 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 ding. That's the way theirs goes. Ours goes ding, 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 diggy, ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. That little bitty change. It's not the same.
It's the same. It's the same. I had another post, guys, too. It's crazy. I'm doing the show, and because it's live, sometimes I see some updates. So I had to pull some stuff out of here. So we got an update from Fionn. You guys know Fionn Davies. You guys love Fionn. She says, somehow deleted last one. Just to be clear, Just to clear some things up, as far as I'm aware, my UFC contract allows me to compete on CJI. Regardless, I was told there wouldn't be a women's division due to lack of funding. I was disappointed with this, of course. I signed a UFC contract and was offered a main event spot in a card stacked with women. Of course, I accepted. I'm really happy CJI is now having a women's bracket. Wish them the best of luck and love to see the girls getting their bag. So, yeah, I don't know. Not sure what that means. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. So you said her contract allows her to compete in CJI. I don't know if she's going to. Who knows? She can do whatever she wants. She's a strong lady. She can do whatever she wants, you know. Insert Taylor Swift lyrics right there. Oh, that's not good. We got Dima. You guys know him. He's one of the coaches kind of making a name for himself now. Him and Greg Saunders. According to Dima, many jiu-jitsu athletes are holding themselves back by focusing too much on technique and not enough on concepts behind them. Why is everybody attacking the technique? This is why you're not getting better. You're thinking in techniques and not in concepts. Like many others, I can't say his last name. We're just going to say Dima. He began his journey watching instructionals from top athletes such as John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, and Craig Jones. That's the only people they know. Those are the only top athletes in jiu-jitsu, apparently. But over time, he's come to believe there's a more effective way to truly improve. Dima warns that copying techniques exactly can be misleading. It's not impossible, but if you want to mimic it like he does, you need to mimic his whole body, his mind, and whatever. Well, that's impossible. Instead, Dima outlines a simple hierarchy for learning. Understand the concept, understand why it works, adapt it to your body and style. Copying techniques, he warns, often leads to frustration and limited growth. If you just copy their moves, you will not be as successful as if you understand the concepts behind them. He praises instructors like Cicernos and Craig Jones for focusing on the whys rather than just the how, helping students internalize principles that can be adapted across all positions. And for those eager to fast-track their improvement, he offers this final piece of advice. If you see a cool move from your favorite athlete, the next time, try to understand why it works and then experiment how you could implement the why. I wonder, do these guys pay? Are they paying BJJ? I need to pay these guys to share my videos. Can I do that? That might be worth it. Are these guys? Do they pay these guys to just do the story on them? Heck, I'm gonna do that too. Can I do that? Whenever I put out a YouTube video like on my main channel, that'd be kind of cool. Man, listen, man, you can do whatever you want, man. Sometimes you gotta mimic. I think when you're first starting out, you don't understand the why. You don't understand the how or the why. It's okay to mimic. I think if you have a good system in place, think of AOJ, they got a really good system. Or say you go to the Meow Bros. Do you really need to understand why the bolo is working? No, you just do the bolo. Just do it. Just drill it. Do the technique. And at a certain point, you can start asking the why. But I think when you're first starting out, you don't really need to know the why because you don't even know the how. I think you should answer the how first and then why later. Because sometimes you just gotta drill the move. Like when you first start jiu-jitsu, you don't know. You don't especially when you start on the ground shrimping out or something. You don't understand the why. Why do I need to shrimp out? Okay, so you can get away from bottom. Okay. Maybe that might be a little bit different, but I think you need to understand the how first. Like, how do I shrimp out first? And then you understand the application. You could, but I think if we really break down topics, so let's take mathematics, for instance. I'm going to use mathematics. So the how would be learning addition, right? You learn your multiplication, your addition, your subtraction, your division. And then you learn how to apply that stuff later on, right? You learn how to count. You learn how to do the simple mathematic operations. arithmetic essentially, and then you learn how to apply it. But do you say you take the white belt is just like a kid, right? So say I take a kid and I'm trying to explain to them the physics or an engineering problem or something, anything. I'm trying to explain a very complex thing to them. I'm trying to explain why they need to learn the mathematics. I don't think that would really hit. It's not really going to hit the kids. It's going to be too much information. Too much information. Isn't that why people in jiu-jitsu have so much issues? There's too much information. And they're not ready for the why. They got to learn the how first. You learn your addition, you learn your multiplication, you learn your subtraction, and of course you might learn some simple word problems. Timmy's got 2 apples and Becky gives him another apple. How many apples does he have? He's got 3 apples. Oh, awesome, cool. You might do some word problems like that to test comprehension. But, you got to start with the very basics, the very foundation, and I believe that's the how. You got to learn your shrimping, you got to learn your rolls, you got to learn your bridging, you got to learn all the fundamental stuff first before you can apply, which is the why, I believe. Application is more of the why. That's my thought process. Clearly you got the new age people, the Solders, you got the Dima, What do I know? I'm just a random dude online, What do I know? These guys know more than me, their posts are doing better than my posts, so they know more than me. I'm just not quick to underwrite the old school methods, I'm not saying old school methods are the end all be all, but you could still get good with old school methods. And of course you add some new school stuff. I think concepts are important too. I think introducing the concept is important. Not that people need to have the answers immediately. And sometimes it takes time. I think that's the point I'm trying to get across to people. It takes time to get this stuff. There's no shortcuts. Everybody's trying to get the most efficient way to learn. But sometimes there is no efficient way. It's gonna take time, and learning isn't very efficient. Since when has learning been efficient, guys? I mean, there's gonna be variation in individuals, but usually learning is like this. It's like wee woo. You having plateaus, get a peak up, I'm going down. Learning is not a very straightforward process. I'm about to end soon, guys. I'm tired. We had a lot more on today, but what else we got on here? We talked about that. Let's look at this. So this guy says, "Be careful on the mat, y'all." Talking about injuries, be careful, man. You looking at Achilles Social over there kicking people's elbows over there. Can opening the neck. So this guy says, took my partner's back. He did a forward roll. I didn't quite tuck my chin. Landed on top of my head. This also happened to Gianni Grippo, guys. He got spiked on his head. He went on to win the match, but he definitely took some damage. He says, had about 15 minutes of not being able to move anything below the neck, but feeling has been gradually coming back. So, these neck injuries are serious. And so when you're rolling, of course I want you guys to win. You want to do well, but you're responsible for the safety of your partners. So whenever I see someone doing trying to break someone's leg or snap their neck off or break their arm, I'm thinking, man, that's bad karma. That karma is going to come back to you. So, not only is it your job to stay safe, but you need to keep your partner safe, guys. So stuff like this shouldn't be happening. Says you hit the lotto, call Hinner. Nah, why'd you say that, bro? Says he served. Don't call Hinner. So some of these injuries happen. There was one guy over at Cyborgs. I don't know if you guys knew this kid. We can move it over. What is that kid's name? Who knows the guy at Cyborg that got? He was what's the word? Paralyzed? I can't remember the kid's name. Let's look him up. Ben Kuzel, yeah. What is this? So this happened about 2 years ago. This happened about 2 years ago. I guess he's actually gonna explain it.
I'm getting ready for the 5K portion of the Miami Marathon. With the adaptive running, we're going to be using the hand bike, and I'm just excited to go out there and push myself. As a quadriplegic, some of the difficulties I'm going to be facing are that, parts of my bodies that I'm using to actually push myself don't work at 100% capacity, so I'm going to be pushing through those difficulties. Another difficulty is that my body can't regulate its body temperature. So day of the race, if it's going to be really hot, I always have to have something to cool me down. Thankfully, though, I have a lot of friends running with me, and they're going to be helping me with that. To me, this race represents the fact that I'm still able to do it. This is going to be my first medal that I get post-injury. Before, I used to collect medals as the able-bodied human. Today, I'm here to show the world that you can do it no matter what. I'd like to tell you that 5 years from now, I'll be jogging on the beach and choking people out doing jiu-jitsu. But the truth of the matter is, 5 years from now,
the WNBA season is heating up.
How did they put a commercial there? So this is from 2023, I believe. It says 8 months ago, Ben Kuzel prepared for the Jiu-Jitsu World Championships with one last sparring session at Fight Sports Club Miami Gym. He wanted to polish a takedown maneuver he had performed thousands of times as an athlete, but as Kuzel lunged towards his opponent, he slipped on a spot of sweat, and what should have been a clean throw collapsed into a horrible accident. His partner fell onto Kuzel's neck. Oh no. Dislocating his 5th and 6th cervical vertebrae. Oh, that's terrible. Kuzel lay motionless on the mat. He was paralyzed. I heard a little pop. I went down. I screamed, Kuzel said. I couldn't feel anything. My initial reaction was that I was just stunned and I'd be fine. We have a pastor at the gym who trains with us, and he ran over and said they were calling paramedics. The first thing I said to him was, how am I going to pay for this? After a painful ambulance ride to Jackson Memorial Hospital, this is in Miami, guys, Hospital Riders Trauma Center, during which Kuzel could feel the bones grinding against his spine every time we hit a bump or turned a corner. Kuzel had surgery and was told by doctors he would never walk again. How much movement I would recover from my shoulders downward, they didn't know, he said. I refused to accept the worst case prognosis. I told them I would walk and fight again. In a remarkable measure of progress, Kuzel, 24, is competing in the hand cycle division Saturday at the Lifetime Tropical 5K. So he did the pedaling with the hands. He also did some jiu-jitsu afterwards too. Like he did a match in jiu-jitsu. He says Kuzel's 13 years as a jiu-jitsu athlete has made all the difference, he said. It's not just the physical strength you built, but the mental strength you gain as a fighter. He said you learn how to stay calm and work through a predicament when someone is trying to choke you. Kuzel took up the sport at the age of 11 because he was tired of getting beat up by his older brother. He said Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu evolved from traditional Jiu-Jitsu, Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Kuzel graduated from Mass Academy and studied engineering for 2 years at Florida International University before turning his full attention to Jiu-Jitsu. He was a multiple-time state champion, ranked number 2 in the world as a middleweight, won international tournaments. Kuzel was in the final stages of completing a deal to open his own gym when he was hurt. In December, he received his black belt in an emotional ceremony at Fight Sports Club Miami. I'm not sure who he hurt himself against. I remember watching him train with Cyborg, and I was thinking, man, they training kind of crazy. But right before he got paralyzed. Yeah, I remember watching him train with Cyborg right before he got paralyzed. I was like, man, they kind of training wild. So that's why I'm always telling you guys to be careful. This was him back at brown belt. He was really good. Doing Miami Open or Pans or Orlando, something. That looks like Orlando Open. He was really good, We got to go back. I mean, it's been like a couple years. He did some matches, too. He did a match at World Pro. So, yeah, this stuff is serious, man. It's some serious stuff, man.
Eu não achei que eu ia poder estar aqui nunca mais, né? Mesmo assim, eu sou quadriplégico lutando contra os paraplégicos, assim, que é uma diferença bastante grande, mas mesmo assim, tô aqui conseguindo fazer meu jogo, mano. Eu falei que eu não ia chorar, mas tô aqui meio que chorando. Tô emocionado, mas tô feliz, cara. Orgulho de estar aqui. Vamos pro Mundial em Abu Dhabi, lutar com os outros quadriplégico, tetraplégico. Tem uma luta um pouquinho mais justa, mas, pô, mano, feliz de estar aqui, mano. A Meira tá aqui me aplaudindo e bonito demais. Isso que eu posso dar uma influência boa no mundo, né? Sinto... É bom porque a galera de jiu-jitsu se juntou muito para me ajudar.
But he's making some progress, he's trying his best to,
Get the fuck. I gotta get up and get it.
That music, bro. He's making some progress, Willpower, man. Willpower. Yeah, he's super good, man. I remember watching him right before he was training with Cyborg. I was like, man, why are they going so crazy? We gotta zoom all the way back. This is the last thing we're gonna look at, guys, and we'll cut the stream. We should be on tomorrow too. Again, we got Helena Craver. She's the first girl in CJI. 2, we had Jordan Burroughs. He's not retired. He just not gonna eat red meat. But he said he will. He's looking for that. He's looking for that good college coaching job. So if you guys know any college coaches, college programs looking for a coach, and they got the money, and that Cyborg's ex-girlfriend, she was there. I don't know why she left either. I don't want to speculate. I just want to see the rolling with Cyborg and him before. But, man, your life can change overnight, so I need you guys to be careful, Just take care of your partners, your training partners. That's when I see people training rolling like Achilles Hosha. Yeah, that was serious right there. Like Achilles Hosha or those guys, I'm thinking, man, they need to, what are they doing? So, this is before he got, before he was, paralyzed. He was living his life normal, man. Just rolling crazy. He had a wild style too, though. Where was he training with Cyborg at? Yeah, here's the video.
Myself.
That's him rolling with Cyborg. I was thinking, man, they rolling crazy over there. I ain't saying Cyborg's the one that hurt him, but look how they be rolling, though, man. I mean, it was a matter of time before someone got injured really badly. And he had a wild style too, though. He had wild style, crazy style. That's why I just try to use technique. I don't be trying to do nothing crazy. I ain't jumping guard. I ain't jumping on my neck. Yeah. So just sad story. You had the guy that got the $52 million. He had Ben Kuzel. You got the guy over here got spiked on his head. The same thing happened to Gianni Grippo. I can't find that match, but same thing happened to him. All right, guys, that's it, man. I'm done. We ain't got nothing else to do. Talk about. I should be on tomorrow, Wednesday, and we'll keep you guys updated on everything. We didn't watch a match today, though. I was too tired. We're over 2 hours, so did we have a match? We'll put it off. We'll put it off, guys. All right, guys, that's it. If you guys want to support the channel, shout out to Kyle Chambers. What's up, What's up, Kyle? Inverted gear, BJ Mental Models. I'm working on the video. I got the script. I just gotta do some changes to it. I need to film some techniques, but I'm trying my best, guys. Got a tournament this weekend too, so that's it, man. You guys stay out of trouble. Have a handsome Tuesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, stay safe, guys. And I'm gonna play myself out with my inverted gear song. You guys know I like it. So I'll see you guys.